Did you know in Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland had a little trouble coming back to Spider-Man after playing more mature roles? While Tom was excited to come back to play Peter Parker, he found it really hard to do after playing his part in the 2021 film Cherry. When he came back to the role of Peter, he was excited to explore the darker side of the character, but he found it hard to get back to using the high-pitched, naive voice of Peter. He also had to bulk back up after playing a heroin addict in Cherry.
Did you know in Jurassic Park, it's not an easy task giving voice and sound to creatures that we've never heard before? And this was no easier for Gary Rydstrom, the sound designer of the 1993 hit Jurassic Park. In order to create the voice given to the raptors, Gary tried many different animal combinations, from using his own dog, geese hissing, and horses breathing, all before settling on one, let's say R-rated noise. For the iconic, terrifying kitchen scene, the bark that the raptors have to communicate with each other was actually created by taking the sounds from mating tortoises. That's right, tortoises having sex. But
did you know in Transformers, this was one of the few movies that the US Department of Defense actually helped with? In order to keep the movie within the budget, they lended some of their vehicles and soldiers to the production as extras and regular versions of the Decepticons. This is the largest production that they've lent equipment to since Black Hawk Down, and it's the first time that some of their aircraft have been seen since Hulk in 2003.
Did you know in Django Unchained, despite being one of the most famous movie stars in the world, appearing in numerous box office smash hits and some of the most iconic movies to date, Django Unchained was the first time in 16 years that Leonardo DiCaprio was top billing on the movie. His name actually appears after both co-stars Jamie Foxx and Christopher Waltz. At least it shows Leo wanted the roles for other reasons other than his ego, but
did you know in the 2005 Fantastic Four, Michael Chiklis was the only one of the main actors that was already familiar with the Fantastic Four comic book series? He fought to be a real thing instead of a CGI thing, since he had been a devout fan of the character ever since his childhood. He ended up wearing 60 pounds of latex that took 3 hours to put on, and they made the suit with a removable rock section in the head. Then they would spray cold air into the suit from there.
Did you know in Dallas Buyers Club, with only a $4.5 million budget for the movie, the creators were not given much to work with within the scope of Hollywood budgets. However, they well and truly skimped on the budget for their hair and makeup department, leaving them with only $250 for the entire 28-day project. This was all Robin Matthews was given to transform Matthew McConaughey from healthy to sick. And since she didn't have money for prosthetics, she used resources such as grits and oatmeal. Despite the tiny budget, Dallas Buyers Club ended up winning the 2014 Oscar for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. But did you know in American Psycho, one of Christian Bale's most memorable and iconic roles to date was a murderous psychopath, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. His disturbing and somewhat over-the-top reactions to situations and portrayal of a psychopath wasn't inspired by a serial killer or someone of the sorts, but rather a fellow Hollywood actor. Bale has since revealed that he actually took inspiration from watching Tom Cruise during an interview with David Letterman, stating that he had this very intense friendliness with nothing behind the eyes. There's no denying that Bale wasn't wrong with the unnaturalness in Tom Cruise's actions, but did you know in the Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn changed her outfit since the first Suicide Squad movie? Before, you can see Harley wearing a jacket that reads on the back, "Property of the Joker," which was obviously before her Birds of Prey movie, in which the Joker breaks up with Harley Quinn. In the Suicide Squad, we can see Harley put on a jacket that now reads, "Live fast, die clown," which shows her character arc in getting over the Joker and becoming more independent as the movie goes on.